what's going on, everybody? And we are logging on to the 144th episode of the podcast. I am your host, Frank McKnight, joined by my co-host, Luke Gans. Thank you for being here, my man.
Of course, my guy.
It's been a while. We got to stop making that a routine, because I feel like I say that every time we do this. Time. But not just that, we haven't done a top 5 episode in a while either, so I'm glad we're back at that as well.
Yeah, this is an awesome one, and not only that, it's a great one because of, I mean, you know, if you've watched with us since the beginning, this will be very pertinent to me and everything that I've done
it's
since
it's like everything's been leading up to
Everything
this.
has been leading up to this episode, exactly, yeah. After this episode, I will no longer be, but... No, it's been awesome. Like you said, I mean, dude, life, it's funny because we've always tried to kind of prioritize how we can around it and like work our best to do that. Mm-hmm. And dude, it's like, it gets so, and we knew this was going to happen. Yeah. So we kind of prepped ourselves for it with doing some stuff and kind of having other things in the middle of it.
Right.
But then when like, I finally got a second, and I was like, Frank, like, we can get back on the horse and do another episode. We were like, let's do it. We were like, all right, cool. Don't plan this date, save this date, no moving anything, and we made it happen. Yes, so it's, you know, it's
we
good.
even did this one a day earlier than we
said we usually do.
Going to do it tomorrow.
We were like, fuck it, let's run it.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad we did. No, I'm very excited for this topic because it's one that I kind of like. I don't want to say thought outside of the box for, but I don't have just zombie shit on here either.
Mine is basically just zombie shit.
Is it all?
So yeah.
Okay, I think you're gonna appreciate my list too.
I know I will.
So a couple of things I would like to bring up before we get into our top 5 list. We are filming this episode first off a while back before this gets released. This is going to be released on the 20th November. This is mid-late October. We're filming this right now. Sure. So some things may seem a little out of date, but fuck it. We're still going to talk about it anyway.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, yeah. Actually, this one is going to be a couple days before Thanksgiving this comes out. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. So Loki's out right now. Mm-hmm. I think it's been pretty damn good so far.
Right? We're 3.
We're
2 in. 3 is coming out tomorrow. Correct.
Speaking of, do you like the fact that they're releasing them at 9 p.m.?
I love them because I can watch it. So how I used to watch it was going like before work. Like I woke up earlier to watch it in the morning.
Yeah.
But see,
or used to be me.
I think I like it more now because I can decompress to it at night.
Sure.
And then the next day, if I'm still thinking about it, you know me, I watch New Rock Stars and I watch all the recap videos and the Easter egg stuff and I watch all that. But like back when I used to watch that before work, like I'd watch that on the way in, I'd listen to it, but I wasn't really like fully paying attention. I like the 9 o'clock slot. It kind of gives it like that, like allure of like, you know, Monday Night Football or like.
It absolutely
does.
Like that. I understand why they're doing it. Yeah.
I mean, like, would I like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock maybe, like a little bit earlier so you give some more time, but like at the same time, it's better than what it was. I mean,
I kind of disagree with that.
But we had it was 3 a.m.
No, I thought it was midnight. No,
it's midnight. I thought it was midnight Pacific Standard Time.
Oh,
which
it might
is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So the issue, I wouldn't care about midnight. Like I would suffer to get to midnight and watch it.
Oh, I'm not even saying that.
But the next day you like.
The next day, like that morning, it's out. Like I'll watch it right now.
I mean, you know, we've talked about it. I'm all about, like, now.
Yeah.
But I also like them stretching it out. Mm-hmm. I think it's just that for the most part, like, when these episodes are dropping, like, even Ahsoka, I'm finished with Ahsoka now.
Oh, right. That just closed up.
I was loving doing the night episodes because, like, I was building up to my day, like, oh, Ahsoka's going to come out tonight.
Was that the same type of release schedule?
Yeah. That was the first one of this new release schedule, I think. I think it might have been in the middle of it that it switched.
Oh.
Like it might have been maybe an episode or 2, and don't quote me on it, but...
well, did you enjoy it?
I did. I mean... Listen, bro, you know how Star Wars fans are.
I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
They're the most toxic fan base ever.
But listen, I think I know what your mind...
No, you tell me. Tell me. What am I...
Mind state is as far as this series. Same thing you said about Obi-Wan, where there are great moments in it, but the overall season wasn't fantastic. But some of the greatest moments in Star Wars?
Not greatest moments in Star Wars. I think it's definitely being handled right. Like, okay. I've said this since the get, like... the Filoni verse is what Feige did to Marvel.
Right.
And in my opinion, it's in a good spot.
Okay.
Because, listen, regardless of what happened with 7, 8, and 9, it happened. Like, it's done now. It is there. It has to be done. And they're not going, to my knowledge, they're not going to pull a DC and fucking erase the canon. I know they're not.
Ooh, I would hope not for Star Wars.
No, but for 7, 8, and 9. Like, those movies. Because, so...
Well, they're making a Rey movie. You know that, right?
Quickly, yes.
Okay.
Quickly, there was a theory a while ago that in Rebels, which is a Star Wars show.
Was that that was cartoon
like Clone
one.
Wars? Yes, correct.
Yes, I know
it's
that
very
one,
good.
yeah.
If you're a Star Wars fan and you've never watched it, Clone Wars and Rebels are great shows. Mm-hmm. There's basically a thing that's called like the World Between Worlds, which is more or less the Upside Down, which they also premiered in Ahsoka. It's like an before death kind of, like, I can't really describe it. I know what it is, but it's hard for me to like describe. But it's basically like you can enter in there at a certain point in the timeline,
like the Phantom Zone.
Kind of, yeah. Like it's really tough to explain it fully.
Okay,
but some people were theorizing that 7, 8, and 9 happened in this alternate version of it, so that Star Wars could then go ahead and after they make this show and Mando and everything, they can still introduce those same characters, but just in a more formulaic way of like, okay, cool. You know, Palpatine didn't just come back from dark magic, like, but I don't think they're doing that. I think they're just more like, you know, Filoni's like, all right, look, we're just gonna fix what we had. We're gonna make it.
I'll be honest with you, and not coming from not the biggest Star Wars fan, not that big of a fan of that idea.
Of what, the Upside Down thing?
Yeah, because it kind of sounds kind of lazy, to be honest.
Oh, no, it 1,000% is, but here's my thing. If, in theory, they did that, and I knew that, like, Filoni was in charge and he had the reins, I'd be all in for it, in the sense that I'd be like, I know he knows what needs to be done to get Star Wars up in the right place. If it was someone else, I'd be like, you know what, just fuck it. Just it's a wash. It happened. It is what it is. Just let it be.
Right.
But now, like, again, he knows the canon books. He knows the stuff that's not canon but is now going to be brought in, or some of the stuff that's legends, but he wants to, like, there's a lot of stuff to be told there that can be fixed into it. So, look, I think he's going to fix it. I think everything is going to end up in a better place. Like, we're not going to look back and be like 7, 8, and 9. Like, a lot of people shit on 1, 2, and 3, and then looking back now, a lot of people really love those movies.
Which I'm so happy
I will be the first one to say I was one of the people to always shit on 3, in the sense that I liked the movie, but I never was like, this movie ever trumps 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
Like, it never did that to me.
Right.
But the more I went back and I watched it and I understood, and they built out Anakin, and I understood, because I used to shit on Hayden Christensen all the time. And
I was just about to bring that up.
1,000% apologize for everything, because the more I look back, how well he did portray the sad, emotionless Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader. He did such a good job. And then after watching him in Star Wars Celebration, like, talk about how much the fan base meant to him.
That's
and
the
talking
TikTok
about,
I was gonna bring up, dude.
Like,
the applause for him.
Well, because he also took so much shit from it. Like, I mean, look at how Andrew, what's his name from Episode 1, the kid that was Anakin.
Oh, right.
He basically quit from the Star Wars fans.
I know.
So, I mean, pressure makes diamonds, right? Like, from Hayden Christensen. Like, at the end of the day, they turned and made it good on him, but. I mean, I look at him, I look at Ewan McGregor's performances there, and, going back, they deserved an Oscar nom for that movie. If that movie came out now, people would show it more respect for their performances.
Sure, absolutely.
Back then, it was still the stigma, it's a sci-fi, it's a space movie, no one gives a shit. That's just how it was.
Did Ewan get shit too?
Well, I mean,
I thought Ewan, he was loved.
No, he's always been loved. I'm saying the movie.
Oh, yeah,
Endgame and Infinity War deserved nominations for Movie of the Year.
Yes, yeah.
Regardless if they got it or not, like Black Panther got noms, like all these movies that deserve it now are getting them.
Yeah.
That movie deserved that nom back then. It's just, it was a different stigma of, like, you didn't do that. You never put I mean, look at 2005, 7, 5, whatever it is. what superhero movies were out then? There were none. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the third Spider-Man or the second Spider-Man had come out.
Yeah.
There were Batman
Begins
movies.
probably just started
Batman
up around then.
It was either just before that or just maybe the first one just came out.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't relevant to that point.
Right,
So,
right.
you know, we'll see. There's a lot of the movie I'm very excited about because they actually did a really good job of leaving it as a cliffhanger in Ahsoka. Like I did not think, and like when it got episode in, I was like, okay, they're doing it, and then it started to build, and I'm like, cool. But then I'm sitting there, and like Marvel and Star Wars shows do all the time. You're like, there's 2 episodes left. And we haven't even seen them do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm sitting there and it's concerning. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, how are they going to do this? And again, Filoni didn't bend. It was some of the best, I think, best action. Again, top 20. I mean, it wasn't, I'm not going to say
I saw some great
it was good
imagery clips of Anakin walking into battle, and then like a lightning was struck, and he would be Darth, and
and he was going back
again.
and forth. So that was Ahsoka.
That was cool.
Basically, a spoiler. So if you're watching this, you haven't watched it, and you don't want to know, just Ahsoka basically dies and goes into that upside down.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
She doesn't die, but she's about to die or whatever, and that's the teetering of like you're about to die. You're in purgatory. Yes. You're about to die.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens is Anakin, who is in that world, saves her and says, you can go and, like, save yourself, but you have to, like, beat me. And it's the trial and tribulations of what she went through with him to get herself back. Like, you can still save yourself. You can still survive. You just need to see what you did wrong and what you did right. And then you'll be brought back. Knowing that, so basically Ahsoka is just Ahsoka. She's looking for a purpose, and then she becomes, when she arrives from being dead, she becomes Ahsoka the White. So she's not like a Jedi, like a lost Jedi anymore. She's got this like new purpose after leaving that world. A lot of people complained about it. They were like, they look stale, they look stiff. Like she didn't look super like fluid with it.
I heard things like that too.
Listen, dude. Again, I say this. I'm really getting so just tired of people just finding everything to complain about. Like, I really am.
I think some of it's valid, though.
Some of it's valid, dude, but, like, again, you don't get it because I have been a Star Wars fan my whole life. I've been part of the people criticizing, and I've been part of the group defending it.
Yeah.
Like, don't criticize it.
Right.
This is just, like, it's just getting exhausting to the point of, like, I just can't watch a show, unplug, and be like, I really liked that. Someone's like, no, I didn't, that was so dumb. They should have had his green hilt in his lightsaber form. Like, sometimes I'll do that. Like, if they fuck up and they give Anakin the wrong lightsaber, I'll be like, didn't love that.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Oh, why does Ahsoka have the braid in her left hair? She never did that. Like, you know what I mean?
Stupid.
There's certain things where you're like, dude, we have to.
Stupid.
Okay, she didn't look that great. Rosario Dawson's not known as an action person.
Correct.
Like, she's not an action. I don't see her in that role.
But with that said, if everyone knew that, don't you think a stunt double probably would have came in handy?
1,000%, but there's not a lot of scenes where you, with her, there weren't scenes that you could necessarily throw a stunt double in. There's one shot specifically where they're fighting off like zombie stormtroopers, and she's front and center, so you can't throw another body in there and be like, because they wanted to show the sheer power of what was going on and her fighting them off.
Right.
You can't swap a person in there. You're going to have to change the camera angle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you want the shot to be these 3 Jedi, the guy they found, the girl that's trained to be a Jedi, and her fighting off these zombie stormtroopers.
Is that what they were?
Yeah. Like
really?
Reincarnated, basically.
Interesting.
Listen, it's good.
I've never heard of that in Star Wars.
That is a Legends thing that is kind of was brought to life.
It's being transitioned into the canonology of it all.
We'll see where it goes because, like I said, it left on a good cliffhanger to the point that I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I don't know where that. Like, I don't know.
You think we're going to see a season 2?
We're either going to see a season 2 or the Heir to the Empire movie, which is already confirmed that Filoni's doing an Heir to the Empire movie.
Oh yes, I heard a Filoni movie's coming.
I just don't know if we're going to get.
It was a Mando movie though.
I think it's going to be
It's gonna
Mando
be all,
and
all these shows are building up to one collective
I think they're
thing.
trying to do like an Infinity War, which like fuck it, bro. Send it. I'm good with that.
I'd be good with that too.
I am more than fine with that. At this point they need more than just Luke Skywalker going out there.
I agree.
And doing whatever. Or again, Mando or Baby Yoda, and it's like that stuff's great, but like you do need to need to pivot,
This is where I actually liked when Rey came in and all these new characters, but then they just brought it back to Skywalker.
But that's why, that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm glad you brought fresh new characters to it, but you had to tie it in.
They were
so
going
much
to do
like
it,
that,
but that's what. Yes, agreed. Bro, believe me, I got to that point. I'm like, dude, okay. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm like, all right, cool. I can take that breath of just like it's done.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It's done. It's and now again, I do firmly believe we're on the right path. I think we have an Andor season 2 confirmed.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
We don't know a date. We don't know a release
because
date
of the
yet.
strikes and everything like that.
So that's confirmed. I'd love an Ahsoka season 2 to lead up to the movie. Like I'd love to do a season 2, and then you could basically, because if you do a season 2 of that, then you could do another season of Boba, and then that all tie into the movie.
Yeah,
which would be, in my opinion, great with Star Wars, because with Marvel, you've got so much backlogging and forward logging. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could tell any type of a story. It doesn't matter. For Star Wars, you have to lead up into this new reign of terror, which is the new bad guy, which is Thrawn.
Thrawn. And how was he in the show?
I loved him. I thought he was great.
Okay,
it was the same voice actor as Rebels.
Yes, I've heard that.
Nicholson, is, great. They did a really good job. He's super ominous. He's there. The way he speaks, the quick synopsis of Thrawn is he's one of the smartest tacticianers ever in the Empire, because he finds out how you're going to attack and what you do. He studies his
He's
prey.
one step ahead.
He's always one step ahead. So he studies art.
Okay.
And he studies art by what people or what their culture does by paintings, or he'll find an artifact that someone left behind on the crash site, and he studies those things to see how that affects that person, to then know what the move will be. So that was where he knew Ahsoka was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker, and she acted very similar to Anakin, so he knew she would do what she did to get to the cliffhanger. So at the end of it, he makes this grand speech to her intercom, and is like, I knew the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker would do X, Y, and Z, whatever, and then boom, they jump to hyperspace and they leave them stranded in the middle of space. So
they have to make a season 2.
They're going to, but like I said, they could just go right to the movie. But I think a season 2 would do better in leading up to that point and getting it there. But
I think they know what they're doing. If they didn't make a season 2 and they left it like that for now with Ahsoka,
Filoni gets it. I'm happy that he's in charge. I'm happy he's running the whole show. I think he makes me. Listen, as much as people shit on it, it's a good time to be a fan of Marvel and Star Wars. Like Marvel, as much as we're going to watch it dip a little bit, I think we're going to pick up next year pretty aggressively.
Speaking of Marvel and speaking of how they would maybe retcon some things in 7, 8, and 9 for Star Wars. Have you been hearing that Kevin Feige kind of backed up some rumors that have been going out about Secret Wars being a soft reboot of the MCU?
Yeah, I heard that.
As far as retconning what's not working right now and keeping what is working.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a fan of that. I'm not. I don't want to see... And then he was also saying maybe some characters will return that you thought were gone forever. No, thank you. No, thank you. Don't do it. Don't do it, please.
Okay,
don't bring Tony Stark back.
I'll play you. Play you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I and you are ready for this next step in Marvel. We're ready to take that next step. We watched these guys. We grew up with these guys. These were our guys, and now they're gone.
Right.
As a business, I understand where they are losing money.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck, this is not working the way we thought it would. They thought Ant-Man, and I liked Ant-Man. I didn't think Quantumanium was as bad, but they thought Quantumanium was going to be up there with Infinity War and Endgame.
I know. I read that article the other day. I know.
So I support it in the sense that if you got to get there to get us back on track with only bangers coming out, because even back in the day, even the bad was still decent.
Not
then
just
we
that,
got a couple.
Bro. I think they're panicking a little bit, which
I
they
think so,
haven't
too.
done before.
But it's because of how bad Disney Plus is doing.
The shows is what's killing them, man. It's saturating it too much, and not saturating it in the fatigue aspect of it.
Well, they're just quality.
Saturate. Exactly.
Look at the Infinity War budget.
Like they're focusing on too many things at once, where they really should probably be putting a little bit more focus on this one thing or that one thing, whatever. But all I'm saying is that I'm fine with a somewhat soft reboot of Secret Wars, but don't give me we're gonna start following a whole new universe in the multiverse where Iron Man's still alive and everything. Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, we are going to see what's going to happen with... Listen, after Loki, it could be a very different situation.
I know.
Because Loki could very quickly erase the MCU that we know.
Yeah.
Partially, and then bring it back.
Kang's popping up this episode.
That's
tomorrow.
what I was going to say to you.
Yeah.
I also want to make a point with what you just said.
Okay.
Marvel.
Right.
I liked Secret Invasion enough.
Oof, no.
Enough. I didn't love it by any means. Mm-hmm. I liked what it did with I liked the humanizing of this stuff because
Me too.
I think the problem with MCU is sometimes it gets too out there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, cool, like I can't connect with it being a 6-foot green monster or whatever.
Yeah.
Like She-Hulk, I did not like that.
Nope.
Like, as much as I thought that was fun and it's bubbly and whatever,
yeah.
If it was She-Hulk and Bruce Banner together, different story. I think it would have been good because you would have had that dynamic of she's trying to figure it out and he knows what's going on.
He's the mentor.
But instead,
and everything.
She came in and she was, I'm stronger than you off the bat.
I'm on my own.
But that's not, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't work.
Nah, it wasn't good.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Budget. What was it?
Oh, it was a lot of money.
What was it?
I don't know.
$211 million.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Okay, great. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Loki season 2 budget.
It's a lot lower.
$141 million.
Yeah.
Where is the creative going? Is my concern because you have a budget of, I am terrible at math, $million dollars, $60 million plus more dollars more.
Yeah.
And you're getting Loki, which deserves nominations with how well of a TV show it is, from cinematography
shot this
to
second season so
the
far.
script to the acting to everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you get Secret Invasion.
I'll tell you what, man. That finale was so lazily
it was terrible
done. It was so bad. It's actually the lowest rated thing ever
for Marvel. Yeah. So that's where I guess where it scares me into saying, okay, cool, if the reboot needs to happen. Because think about it this way, though. Loki was an irrelevant character. He was. Regardless of... He
was a what?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant?
In the sense that he was in the first Thor, he was in...
he's the main bad guy for Avengers.
Yes, the first Avengers.
He's in Thor 2.
Listen,
Thor 3.
he's in all those movies, but he's irrelevant in the sense that he started to lose his the first movie. Everyone hated him. Oh, he's Loki
because he's not as bad anymore. He's a good guy.
Exactly.
Now.
But now his popularity from Loki has skyrocketed.
I agree with
that. Where
that.
they're sitting there like, all right, cool, maybe he does need to be back in. He's dead.
Right.
He's dead.
They did say there are plans to reunite him and Thor in a project.
But that's what I'm saying, though. They're seeing the original cast does the numbers.
Oh,
and
without
the
a
scripts.
doubt.
And again, look, when you put those guys together, you're going to get better scripts written.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the best way that I had thought about it is when they move forward with it, they should do more when it comes to... oh my god, what's the Star Wars anime show? Visions.
Oh, Visions, yeah.
Visions or Tales of the Jedi. Do you know what either of those are?
I know
so
both
of
them,
those are stories inside the Star Wars universe.
Right.
Visions is obviously not like canon.
Right.
But Tales of the Jedi is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's stories.
I thought they were both
So Tales of the Jedi is like Count Dooku, how he became bad. It's him leading
up
to
I heard
Count
about
Dooku
that one.
becoming a bad guy. Mm-hmm. Or Ahsoka telling the story of what was going on in the middle of everything. Mm-hmm. So these are things that you can do without live action, without this, without that, get a storyboard together, write 8 episodes or 12 episodes of a show, and give us that content that people still want to see with a less maintenance and less of a concern of like, all right, cool, we like Clone Wars and Rebels. Bro, Rebels was a Disney XD show.
I know.
It was a Disney XD show, and it has such a cult following.
That's
so.
Crazy
Do you know what I mean?
About. Yes.
So
yes.
You can shift that direction, and you can tell. Just like, I mean, look at the What If. What If is, people love What If. A lot of people like. Well,
I think people like it. But I like it too. But that's what I think. It's a little bit of a waste of energy.
But what would you rather do? Would you rather do something in a cartoon light that like Echo? I'd rather that in a cartoon light.
Too.
I'd rather, again, you're going to say you want Daredevil, but look at what Daredevil did. They just fired everybody.
I know, they scrapped it, which I'm actually taking
in a good way. Take it in a good way, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But, look, it's a very hard argument to have now on, like, what works, what doesn't work, how do we do this? Everyone wants live action, but, like, at the same time, like, I honestly am not going to lie, I am interested to see what, like, House of Harkness does, or whatever the new title is, or whatever.
They titled it 3 different times. I think it's called Darkhold Diaries.
Whatever. I'm fine with it, because I'm interested to see more about that storyline because of how Wanda is important with this, now that she's the big bad.
Hopefully she's actually in it.
But
there's not even
I don't think she'll be in it, honestly. I think they're going to tell...
terrible.
But but I think they're going to do a good job of telling the backstory of, like, what is involved with the Scarlet Witch. And then, like, okay, who was involved in getting her to get the Darkhold and get this involved and blah, 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 blah.
It might not even be about that either, though.
It might not be. But, again, you have to shift those focuses where I am a content guy. I want more content.
Yeah.
Again, I want it to be, like...
excellent.
I want it to be, I want it to be digestible. Like, I want it to be good.
Yeah.
So if you're going to tell me that we're going to make 8 shows a year for Marvel, and 6 of them are going to be live action and 2 are cartoon, or 4 and 4, or 6 and whatever.
Right.
I'm fine with that. Like, make that split of whatever you need to do, because...
But that's where it would also concern me if they did announce something like that. Because, like I said before, where's the focus of quality?
But look at Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man as in what?
The cartoon.
The new one that's coming out?
The
waste of energy.
No.
Spider-Man freshman year, that new cartoon
No. The animated movie.
Into and Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look at that movie before it got announced. There was probably a lot of people like, we don't need this.
Very skeptical.
That we don't need this. We're trying to get Tom Holland, right?
People.
Exactly.
Yep.
We were just concerned, like, bro, what are we doing here? Why are we putting money into this when we could be focusing our energy on something else?
Right.
But look at what it did.
I know.
You put the right time and you put the right energy, and it's a top 5, top 10 Marvel movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what
both of them are in the top 10.
I agree.
So, do you know what I mean? You're talking about something that they went and they took their time with and said, all right, cool, this is what could work for this.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for everything, but it could work for
a certain character or
House
a certain
of Harkness.
storyline.
It could work for Blade. It could work for, so instead of us listen, I am all in for it because we're recasting these people, right? Guardians of the Galaxy is done for now, right? Like that whole series of them is done.
Right.
Thor is done for now.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange maybe has one more movie or, whatever.
Yeah.
Hulk is probably done for the most part. Hawkeye is done for the most part.
Yeah.
And I liked Hawkeye. But like you could have made Hawkeye into an animated show and I would have still liked it. But Hawkeye was important because now you have Haley Steinfeld involved. And I think she was good.
I think she was the best part of the Hawkeye
I agree.
series.
I think she's going to be a really important part of that.
Bishop, yeah.
Like, and then again, you go into Black Panther 2. Mm-hmm. That was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie too. I thought it was. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was great. No, it was great. It was a top tier.
It's definitely a top tier in Phase 4.
If you're doing a good, better, and best of Marvel, it's teetering between better and best.
Black Panther 2.
Yes, correct.
Like, all of
good is just your bad stuff, your even stuff, your whatever, your Thor 2s.
Oh, no,
then
I agree.
Your better is your, solid movies, but maybe it wasn't as good as we wanted. It teeters in that level and then goes up a next level of like, all right, it's not as good as Endgame, but it's a step down that's not a super hard step.
Right.
Right. So,
you want to know what I think they really need to get past? This whole multiverse saga. They just need to get past it.
Yeah.
It's confusing too much of the general audience. What made the MCU work in the past was that even though all this stuff was connected, it was pretty simplified. The multiverse is just a can of worms that are going wild.
I agree, but devil's advocate.
Okay.
This is comic book shit, bro.
I understand that, but there's...
But you
the
can't,
multiverse,
you
they gotta
can't
do it
lose
better.
you can't lose your OG fan base. You can't.
No, you can't.
That's the problem.
But they
And
are.
but they'll lose them if they change fully. They need to keep the bare bones skeleton of it. If they don't,
well, no, I'm not saying ditch the whole multiverse idea mid-saga.
Oh, no, 1,000%. I think I know that.
Stick with what they're doing right now, but they just need to get past it.
Yeah.
Make the third saga the X-Men saga, the mutant saga.
I agree, but the only thing I guess concerns me about it, right? I like looking at it, you're like, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Galactus, Doctor Doom.
He's got to be the real
Surfer.
endgame. Galactus has to be the true endgame.
Agreed, but you know he like eats whole worlds, right? So we do have to get to a point where people are going to understand a giant space monster is eating whole universes. Like,
they kind of already introduced something like that with Eternals.
They
with
did,
those big guys.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like that's also a complicated thing to digest.
I don't think it's complicated. I think it's just ridiculous.
No, but that's ridiculous is
what
complicated in the sense of some fans are going to sit there and be
Sometimes.
like, wait, why is this giant eating a world and Thor is out there and he's this bit? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but Galactus is way more known than Kang ever will be until maybe the Kang Dynasty comes out.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
I also think part of this problem is the fact that we lost Jonathan Majors to all this. Like, I think
we didn't lose him yet.
No, but we did though, in the sense that he was everywhere.
Yeah.
And then this all came out against him, and now we've lost that allure of people were interested because of Jonathan Majors.
Right.
They didn't. Same thing with if Timothy Chalamet's in the next movie. If he's in the fucking Fantastic Four, people would be like, "Holy shit, I'm interested now."
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors was everywhere, bro. People loved him. So I think it was just concerning.
They should have ripped that Band-Aid. Sorry to cut you
No,
off,
I agree.
They should have ripped that Band-Aid off and getting that court case taken care of. It keeps on getting delayed. And that's fucking up Marvel too.
But I think that getting delayed is either really good or really bad.
Oh yeah, right. Absolutely.
Because it's either really good in the sense that they're like, all right, the other team is just dragging their feet to make this worse, or Marvel's pushing it out because something is really bad, and they're like, we got to get rid of Kang and Jonathan Majors. Because listen, bro, you can't recast. You can't.
I think you can. Done. I think you can. We're talking the multiverse.
Bro,
you can recast.
No, I know, but you can't because you just saw a whole fucking stadium full of Jonathan Majors.
I know. That's where they fucked up.
So you can't.
That's where they fucked up.
If the only ones that you saw were the monkey one and the
crystallized
one,
one,
the crystallized one,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
But you saw other Jonathan Majors
with
just a ton
his
of
plain
them.
face.
So if you see a Mahershala Ali, is he Blade?
He's Blade.
Fuck.
He's Blade.
Michael B. Jordan. God damn it.
He's Killmonger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would need to think.
But I'm saying it's like you could
you.
I always hate recastings because it's like you're admitting like or you're taking. It's also tough because I think Jonathan Majors is so good as Kang. I think he's so fucking good as Kang.
He's a talent, man.
He's so good.
He is a talent, and not.
It'll be so shitty if like we just gotta. If I gotta die on the hill, I'll be so bummed because I really think he's such a talented kid, man.
He is.
I mean, I was talking about Witchcraft Country before they canceled it on HBO. Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
dude, I liked that show. I thought it fell off. It definitely that was his first like big thing in my opinion that got the ball rolling with it. But yeah, man, we'll rant about this all night, so it doesn't even matter. You know, we'll just.
Let's move on to our main topic here. The top 5 post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows. This is actually a first here on our top 5 segments where we're combining movies and TV shows together.
Yeah.
I think it is, at least. I don't think we've done anything like that before. The reason why we decided to combine the two is because I think it's a general,
it's fine enough. Yeah,
it's fine enough.
You can do it without being like you don't need its own thing in my
exactly
opinion. You don't.
Yeah. So post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows. I texted you this before, a week ago, but I want to let you guys know too. doesn't just have to be zombies, so
Yep.
that's where things could get a little interesting.
Mine is just zombies.
I have
the
3
most part.
honorable mentions.
All right, you go.
Okay. My number 1 honorable mention is War of the Worlds.
Cool.
Now-
Kayla's dad is in that movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like an extra in one of the scenes.
Really?
He's got photos all over the place.
No
way. Yeah, he's
That's
he met
awesome.
Tom Hanks and everything. Yeah.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise,
Yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Hanks.
yeah. No, dude, that's kind of awesome.
No, yeah, it's sick. He's literally like there's stills of him like behind a car and whatever.
That's
so I'm like,
great.
did you die in that universe? He's like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm like, all right, cool, nice, that's great.
Possible return?
He's coming back for the
he's
next
coming
one.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
I put that on my honorable mentions for 2 reasons. One, that's kind of one of those during, I'll say during the outbreak sort of thing,
Yep.
or during the invasion. We're dealing with aliens here in that movie.
Yep.
It's kind of a during thing where it's like, okay, they're going to be living in a
Yep.
post-apocalyptic
Yep.
world forever after that. It was a good movie. I also really like the story behind the actual War of the Worlds story.
Okay.
You definitely do. Once I remind you of this, because I believe we were taught it in like high school or whatever. But it started off as a radio show, but no one knew it was a radio show. It was a newscast.
Oh yeah, I did know this.
And
Yeah.
fooled the whole world thinking that
It
this was actually happening.
Yeah.
And that's how it
Imagine
became the
that
famous. Yeah.
Imagine that prank.
Yeah.
Mom!
But the best part is, it wasn't supposed to be a prank. It was
No.
supposed to like people just thought it was,
That's-
that's just how it
that's
happened
hilarious.
to be.
Great marketing.
Great marketing. Plus, like the fact that they made a whole movie over it is fantastic.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Number 2 is World War Z.
Okay.
I am fascinated by those zombies.
Love that movie.
They are some pretty overpowerful zombies. Probably the most powerful that I've ever seen.
Second one is supposed to have been come out now for
yeah. Well, think about it too, though. The first one took a while to come out.
Remember back in the day, like this is a trip for us as movie nerds and losers from like not having the way like Instagram and social media feed you all this information,
Yeah.
like not having the follows.
Yeah.
Me and Frank back in the day, we'd like in high school and even prior, we'd like look up online. It was like new movies coming out.
Oh, yeah.
It was like World War Z 2, and it was like a fan-made poster with the cast of like 4 people, and the date of release was like a week from when you were looking at it. And you're like, I haven't heard anything.
what?
You're like, what? It's coming out tomorrow? And you're like, holy shit. And then like the
That's
next
how it
time
was,
you
though,
look
back
at
in the
it,
day.
it's like 3 years down the line. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, so I guess it's not coming out
Right.
tomorrow. But that was the funny thing about like the early IMDb. We used to be able, like even Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, like I used to trust them.
Yeah.
Now I don't. You're
Yeah.
losers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like now it's just who buys views and shit like that.
Yeah,
but-
it is. It is. A story just broke out about that too.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
With Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
No shit. Rotten Tomatoes, you're corrupt.
Yeah, they
Watch our show.
proofs in the
instead.
pudding now. Yeah.
Watch our show and watch our bias opinions.
Agreed.
I was also gonna say too, would a post-apocalyptic movie fall into The Creator that just came out?
I was thinking about that
Yeah.
before this pod.
It's not
I think,
technically because it's not.
No, I think it is.
But it's not
Did you see it?
post-apocalyptic. No, but I heard it's really solid.
Me too.
I heard it's not
I heard it's
great,
good,
but
too.
I heard it's like good. I'm excited to see it because I'm a Ryan Johnson fan. I loved him.
Yeah,
I
no,
loved
he
Rogue
is
One.
a-
I thought he did a good
I
job.
love Knives Out. Too.
I
think he's a good
honestly
director.
thought, bro. I think it's gonna be, or no, it's Gareth Edwards, not
The
Ryan
director?
Johnson. Correct.
Oh, okay,
Gareth
okay.
Edwards did Rogue One. Ryan Johnson did Episode 8.
Yes.
Stick to knife movies, not Star Wars movies, Ryan Johnson. No, Gareth Edwards, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. He did Rogue One and he did this movie. I heard it was really pretty good. Like
Me too.
A nice
I had a
watch,
couple.
but-
I had one coworker who saw it and
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
All right,
he
cool.
said there's a lot of tropes from a lot of different movies, but at the same time, it still
fine.
felt original.
That's
which I'm
cool.
all about.
That's cool.
Good.
Yeah, I'm fine
That's
with that.
good.
Yeah, I'm fine with
And that's
that.
hard to do with the sci-fi movie
It is.
nowadays.
Yeah, because everything is used. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I did hear it was good, but that would have counted. I would say that would have
Cool.
counted because AI.
I didn't
takes
see
over.
it yet, but when I
that's the
see it,
deal
I'll
with
let everybody know if I put it on my list.
There, okay, there you go. World War Z was on honorable mentions mainly because of the fact that's also another one that's post-apocalyptic, if that makes sense.
Cool.
The
Yeah, I get
outbreak
that.
is like
Yep,
happening
yep,
then
yeah.
and there. And number 3 for my honorable mentions is The Walking Dead. I actually have more great things to say it than bad things to say about it. I'll get rid of the one bad thing I'll say about it tonight. There are more bad episodes and seasons of this show than there are good. Tell me I'm wrong.
Thanks everybody for watching the show tonight.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not
Tell me I'm
wrong.
wrong.
No, you're not wrong, but the scenes that are good are better than all of that.
And characters.
The scenes that are good and the characters that are
characters.
good carry more weight than all the fluff. That's my opinion.
I could accept
That's
that.
why I got back
that.
on the train and said, fuck it, I'm finishing it.
Yeah.
Because there was so much good that I had watched up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And even though it was repetitive and even though it was whatever, Negan came in, I was like, shit, I'm intrigued. The Whisperers, I was intrigued. Again, they didn't do the right way to go about a lot of this stuff, but there was good in the mix.
Yeah.
Of like, you got a bad piece of pizza. Some of the cheese is fully melted, some of the cheese is not melted. But when you take a bite of that crunchy, good melted cheese, you're like, nice. But then you take a bite of that that soft cheese, and you're like, all right, cool. I thought this was a little bit more melted and soft and whatever. So, it's fine.
I think you're gonna like what I'm about to say next.
I'm all in.
Here are the positives. Two positives I want to bring up about it. Rick, besides one other person that's on my actual top 5 as far as show that's in the show, Rick is probably the best post-apocalyptic character that's ever existed. You could say yes or no right now, but don't reveal who you think it is yet.
Why? Because...
Do you agree with that?
He is the best story arc.
Yeah.
Of a character.
In any post-apocalyptic thing.
There's another character in it that people like more.
Daryl.
Yeah. But Daryl's story arc is very much, he has like a redemption story of like he can trust people.
Yes.
But he's always been the hunting, gathering, badass, whatever.
Also, he's just a side character. A big side character, but he's a side character.
I disagree with that a little bit. He was a side character that became the main character.
Until Rick left.
No,
even before that,
he becomes a main character.
Okay.
He very quickly becomes like it's Rick and him and Shane when he's alive. And the thing with The Walking Dead, which is good and bad, is like Marvel of like there's so many characters that you can really kind of fall on being like, oh, like this person's story. Like, yes, some of them don't get as much. Yeah. Like Tyrese was an OG character.
Yeah, true.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Some of these people don't get that shine. But Daryl, I mean, Daryl would not have been a main character with a now spin-off TV show.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, Michonne in the beginning was not, and then Michonne came in, and Michonne became Rick's right hand, and like they got married, they did their thing, and then, oh shit, she became a big deal, and now she's even considered for, the Rick and Michonne movie show,
she's in it.
It is.
She's in it, yeah.
But they were thinking about doing a show of hers originally.
Oh.
So I'm saying, like, I understand what you're saying with him being a side character, but at the same time, he is a main character in that light. But
and then the last thing I'll say about The Walking Dead is, as much as people may shit on how The Walking Dead turned out, no one could disagree with the fact that The Walking Dead opened every door possible for any sort of zombie movie or TV show out there.
The Walking Dead walked so everything else could run. 1,000%. Not even a question.
And with that said, it deserves the utmost respect for that.
Because
it became a genre of its own.
Walking Dead will be a show that people eventually watch. And
I agree with that.
They'll be like, shit, this is actually pretty good. Even with some of the not so great.
Sure.
Because think about how people watch Friends for fun. Isn't that crazy to you? Who would do that? Who would do that? Honestly, tell me. Why would you ever just turn your TV on and be like, I'm going to watch this show?
Yeah, I mean...
Nah,
it's me their own.
That's just me shitting on Friends, whatever.
Those are my only honorable mentions there for that.
No, you know what? I 1,000% agree with you. I think if I talk to a couple of my other buddies too, like I know like Todd is big, me and Todd have always been like big post-apocalyptic talking shows, guys, everything like that.
Yeah.
I would probably agree with almost everything that you had on there.
Okay.
You have honorable mentions? I have 3 honorable mentions, and I wanted to kick it off, though, first with torturing Frank real quick before I give these, because I brought Frank's least favorite candy ever, which is great. Great start off the bat. So I brought Fall Tootsie Rolls The first flavor we're going to try is candy corn, which is... I don't know how I feel about candy corn, honestly.
Let me tell everyone something here. Let me tell you all something. Not only do I not like Tootsie Rolls, I love chocolate, but this is a different kind of chocolate to me. I also can't stand candy corn. I don't like it. So,
That's not that bad.
both together, I am sure I'm not going to like it. Like, it looks like Laffy Taffy. Like, chocolate shouldn't be looking like Laffy Taffy.
See, I'm scared for this next one, because I don't like pumpkin stuff. Frank is... It's not as bad.
It's not as bad.
No. I actually liked it. I was like, oh, damn. That's surprising.
This isn't bad.
No, it's surprising. I thought I was going to hate it, and I was like, oh, cool. I'd have another one right now of that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay, cool.
I think we're off to a good
turned
start.
Good. Look at
We're off to a good start.
Look at that. Don't judge a book by its cover. This is gonna fuck me up though, because I hate pumpkins so much.
So you don't even like pumpkin flavored coffees? No. Really? I think I might like this one. You see, watch. This is the one I think I'm gonna like, but watch me not like it now. Here we go. Yeah, I fuck with this too.
Nope. It's a big red.
Pretty overpowering, the pumpkin.
Oh.
Do you like pumpkin pie? Do you like anything pumpkin?
I don't. I like pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
I'm not really. I don't know. I'm not a pumpkin.
Pumpkin coffee either,
I think pumpkin is the most overrated flavor ever.
Well, the thing about it only comes around once a
apple is a better flavor than pumpkin. Not even close. Like apple cider. Apple pie is better than pumpkin pie. Apple cider is better.
You see, here's my argument with that. Pumpkin pie is like a rare thing in the sense that it only comes around during the fall. Apple pie, you could see that every season for the most part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't get pumpkin pie midsummer. They only get it for the fall. So it's like, okay, I haven't had this in a while. Let me have this now. It's going to be excellent, you know?
I guess I don't like it because people have just completely turned into, like, August pumpkin spice comes out.
Well, yeah.
It's 100 degrees.
I know. No, I wouldn't be about that life.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people, it's getting pushed up every year more and more to when it comes out. And that's what's concerning.
Well, because it sells, too. They want to milk it.
No shit,
you know?
Yeah.
What did you eat? Which one you just eat?
Cinnamon.
Okay.
That one wasn't great, but it's also not terrible. It's sweet cinnamon.
Yeah.
So it's not. I thought it was gonna be like spicy. Like I thought it was gonna be like a very overpowering.
Yeah.
Doesn't
this look like what is it called? Double bubble or bubble double?
Hubba bubba.
No, there is Hubba bubble, but there's also double bubble. Yeah.
It looks like double bubble.
I'll try.
I'm gonna have another candy corn too. I am wildly surprised up until this point.
I'll tell you what, I'm pretty surprised too because I like the cinnamon one too.
I like
it.
I walked in and I haven't seen Frank in a while, and I walk in and I'm like, I'm here to ruin your night, and because he tells me, I'm like, oh, I have a snack, and he's like, nice, and then I'm like, imagine like you having a nice little treat at the end of the night, and then being surprised with your least favorite candy.
Yeah,
that's what I just did to him, and then not only that, flavored versions of his least favorite candy.
Yeah.
So he's a chocolate guy. I'm like, hey, I have sweet cinnamon, pumpkin spice, apple whatever, and candy corn.
But I'll tell you what the thing with these aren't chocolate.
No.
At all.
No, because there's no chocolate.
I thought it was a mix of chocolate and these flavors.
No.
That's what I thought. You see, then if that was the case, then I think they would have been god-awful.
This is the one I've had already. I liked it a lot.
This is sweet. This is good.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I ate all of these.
What one is this one?
Caramel apple. I ate every single one of these.
Actually.
I left 2 of them because I was like, I need Frank to get one and me to go. I ate every single other one. Like, I've had this bag for like 2 weeks now because I'm like, all right, when eventually I go, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll do it before the holiday. Yeah, I fucked up so bad. I was like, I ate every one. They were in my car.
I don't blame you, dude.
Uh-huh.
They're good. That's the best one, I think, out of all of them.
All right.
I'm not going to lie.
Let's rank them, though.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so number 1's the caramel apple.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I'm going with the candy corn.
I agree.
Number 3 is probably the cinnamon. And then 4 is
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
I agree 100%.
We're on the same page.
100%.
Good. I listen, I liked all 4 of them.
Yeah, that was good. That was
I
surprising.
am genuinely surprised.
I am happy that you are.
That was good.
I'm happy that we shared this together, bud.
'Cause you know what?
I'm happy we shared this.
Yeah.
This is a great time.
You know what? Because when I was younger, because these have been around for a while, these flavored ones.
But this is the first time I've ever seen these. They usually have
but they
vanilla, orange.
Yeah.
I love those.
Okay, you see, whenever I went trick-or-treating and I saw those put in the bag, I'm like, yeah, not having those. I never did.
You know what? I love the vanilla one. The vanilla one I love vanilla. Kayla fucking hates that I love vanilla. Because I like I'll get like a milkshake and it'll be like a caramel or whatever. And she's like, I just hate vanilla base. Because she loves chocolate. Like, she loves a chocolate base.
Yeah. I do too, yeah.
I'll do anything. But like, everything I get, like, I got her a blondie the other day, and it was like a vanilla-based blondie. She's like, why do you just not get me chocolate stuff? I'm like, oh, I like this. We should share this. She's like, you got this so you could eat it. I'm like, no, but if you don't want it, I'll have it. Yeah, but no, that was good.
Very nice.
We do this all the time. We should have done a top. Before Halloween, we should have done a candy, Mount Rushmore of candies. But,
Well, there's always next year.
Reese's
is definitely
Cups
up
is
there.
up there. I think Milky Ways are up there, personally. I love a good Milky Way.
Milky Ways are good, too.
Three Musketeer and a Kit Kat over Twix.
I'm like trying not to think chocolate, though.
Nope.
Sour Skittles?
No,
the
come
little
on, dude.
No.
You gotta think OG shit, bro.
Okay.
Because think about it. Sour Skittles only came out when we were in, like, middle school, high school.
That's true.
That's when they were in the bags.
Yeah.
Bro, you used to get remember the old cartoon of the Three Musketeers guys on them?
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's an OG.
Yeah, that is an OG.
That's an OG. Kit Kats, OG. Reese's Cups, OG.
Kit
Mine would be
Kats,
Kit Kat, Reese's Cup, and it would be like a tie, but it would be a two last spots would just go between Milky Way, Twix, and Three Musketeers.
I would really have to think about that, but I think I'm in the same ballpark as you.
The only other thing I would say is that I did not, as a kid, like peanut M&Ms, and I love peanut M&Ms now.
They're
like,
great.
Obsessed
They're
with
fantastic.
peanut M&Ms. They are healthy.
Okay.
The
the peanut butter M&Ms. Have you ever had those?
Yeah, pretzel ones are better.
Even how about this? The peanut butter pretzels.
I had the toffee ones, and they were
toffee. Really?
They had cold brew toffee and something else, and I forgot what was the other. I just had you know me, I'm a whore for this stuff. I am literally a marketing team's worst nightmare. Like they're like what demographic? Me.
Me.
Like just guy that wants to try the dumbest shit ever. Like. Thankfully, I don't like pumpkin, so like Wendy's just lost a sale.
Dude, I tried their pumpkin frosty. Excellent, bro. Excellent.
I don't believe that shit.
I
heard it's very nutmeggy.
A little bit, but not
really.
Much.
All right, cool.
Nah, yeah.
I follow a very large man on Instagram that reviews stuff, and he called it nutmeggy, and I took his word for it. I'm like, you are the boss here.
I'll tell you what. It was excellent. Probably the best pumpkin flavored thing I've ever had.
We just had the caramel crunch from Chick-fil-A milkshake.
Oh, I never even knew that existed.
Chef's kiss. Fucking great.
How about Dunkin's Ice Spice drink?
Dunkin' could kick rocks.
Bro, I know you're not a
Dunkin'.
fan of Dunkin', but I heard that's awful. I heard it's awful, way too sweet. It's like a mix of pumpkin and caramel.
Yeah,
bro, you're adding too much of that syrup.
No, bro, listen, I'm if I'm going to get coffee and I'm going to spend the money, like I used to, the only spot I had back when I lived up north was a Starbucks. And luckily, like I had a great staff. Like they were the best. They were awesome people. Like I talked to some of them. Like they like follow me on Instagram. Good people.
Hell yeah.
And I'll like visit them if I'm ever up that way. They were awesome. But like if I need like a quick thing, I'll go. But like, dude, like I would rather go to Rook and to Cali Cold. Like Cali Cold is right next to my store. The coffee shop.
Oh, really? I gotta try that
dude.
out.
It is right next to my coffee
Is
shop.
that a chain or is that just
So
this one spot?
they're opening another store soon.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm like
So not
leaking
necessarily.
information, so I won't,
Yeah,
like,
not
say anything,
necessarily
but-
like a chain.
No, well they have the signs up, so they're I think they're going to eventually be a similar to Rook situation with
cool.
it.
Yeah.
But they have, I mean, like they have great, like they have a Pebble Beach that's basically like
hell's
a
that?
fruity pebble milk that they put in it. So they like soak fruity pebbles in milk.
Yeah.
They strain it. And it's pink milk, and they put it in your coffee.
That's fucking sick.
It's fucking great.
That's
it's
sick.
awesome. They have like a Big Bear that I get all the time. It's like a cookie butter coffee thing. They're just milkshakes for me, but they're great. But even if you just get the easy coffees, it's good coffee. Like it's elevated coffee, which if I'm gonna pay the money for it, and I want a coffee, and I only want to try to have one coffee a day, I'm not going to have a Dunkin' or a Starbucks because I'm gonna have that coffee and be like, all right, cool, I need another one at noon.
Yeah.
I have one of those other coffees. I sip on it for, again, I drink it fast, but like I sip on it for a little, and then I'm good up until 3 o'clock hits, and I'm like, all right, cool. I have 2 more hours to knock out.
Yeah,
not
right,
like,
right.
oh shit, I have to get another coffee in me before I end my day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's move on to this to the rest of your
My
honorables.
honorables are Last of Us because I haven't seen it yet still.
Okay.
I mean, it'll easily probably crack my top 5. when
Bro,
I
you're
eventually
gonna
do.
love
I'm
You're gonna
that's my
love
thing.
it.
I tell everyone, it's just like the same thing as like stuff I haven't watched that I know I'm gonna love. I'm like, look, I put it on my list because I know eventually it'll make its way in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like, oh, like I'll be like, yeah, no, I know I'm gonna love it, so it's on my honorable mentions because once it eventually gets there,
You already
it's gonna,
appreciate it,
It's
and
gonna
you haven't
kick
even
something else
watched it.
off.
Yeah.
Yep. Return of the Living Dead, which was Roger Romero.
Return of the Living Dead.
That's like the OG zombie movie. That was the first zombie movie. Something Romero is the director's name, and I'm butchering it. And someone that's like
Romero sounds familiar.
someone
can't
that's like
think of
a
his name.
horror fan is in the other side of the camera, like, say it,
Yeah,
say it. You know, I've seen parts of it. I've seen most of it. I've never like sat fully through it. Like 28 Days Later, I've seen parts of it,
that's a
all
good
those
one.
things.
Yeah.
But those are movies that like they're on my honorable mentions. That one is more there because it kind of started off like The Walking Dead. That's how Robert Kirkman, I think, got involved in this whole universe.
Okay.
And that's what I think inspired him to get like involved with The Walking Dead.
Nice, okay.
And then Army of the Dead, the Dave Bautista movie. I put it on
That
there
was
because
a good one.
a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was fun. Like I
was
didn't.
fun.
It was. I mean, it was exactly like it's Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's a 70. Mm-hmm. That's exactly where I'd put it. Like I'd put it like 70 to 75. It was an easy watch. It was quick.
It was an easy watch. It was
a
fun.
fun watch.
It was fun.
Like they didn't go crazy in depth with it, and then like now they can like if they want they can make more to it. They can expand the universe. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot that can be done.
Those zombies became intelligent.
Yes,
That's an interesting factor
Really
of it.
cool.
Yeah, I
which
like
was
that.
Really cool. I also liked it because like in Vegas, but they were able to stop the spread. Like that's what's cool. Like
that
oh
is
yeah, no,
cool.
like the government did it. We stopped them.
It's like in their
Like-
Springfield Dome.
Yep,
from the
and
Simpsons
now we're just
movie.
going to nuke it, but
Yeah.
there's tons of money there. And the rest of the world is living in regular society of like, oh, I'm still broke, but like all like the money that I had at the slot machines in Vegas
It was
is
a
still
cool
there.
heist movie.
I thought
Zombie
it was good.
heist movie.
I thought it was good.
I did too. I did.
Then I'll go.
I did too. I did.
Then I'll go fourth so that you can do it.
Okay.
So my 5, because you know I can't make a list without having a tie, is World War Z and I Am Legend.
Okay.
So, love I Am Legend.
Yeah.
The reason it's lower on my list is because I can't do dogs dying. I can't.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. Breaks my
Yeah.
heart. Like that's part of the reason that I've never fully watched John Wick movies.
Oh, okay.
Because
well,
of the first
I think
one.
it. Yeah,
Because of the
I think it was just that first one.
But the thing is like the first one would just completely. I would literally buy weapons to be like I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like I am also ready to do what he did. Like I would. And I know what happens. Again, I've watched most of John Wick 1 like that. I've not watched that part, but I get the basis of it. Like, but I just can't. I can't do it.
That's pretty much his whole drive in that first one.
Exactly. That's yeah.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh,
I've never seen that. I'm sure it's great. I think it's like considered a cult classic,
Yes.
to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But never seen it. No.
Shaun of the Dead is great. it's good because it takes the zombie movie trope of like poking fun at it.
Yeah,
but then at the same time, it has those serious moments, and it has like a fun element to it, and it has like oh shit, like we're all gonna die moment. Like so it takes like a not just like a oh we're just a farty comedy, and makes it into like cool. There's actual repercussions of like us possibly dying.
There's
from
a
the
nice
zombie.
mix of it, a nice
exactly.
balance to it.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I like it a lot.
A lot of people do like it.
My 5 and my 4.
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty, my 5 is Zombieland. Zombieland. We saw that in theaters together. Believe it was for your birthday.
It was.
We had a whole crew
with
with us. Listen, I love that movie. It was hilarious. Bill Murray was great in it. All the rules that popped up throughout the movie.
So funny.
Was a great concept.
Yep.
And I mean, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg.
It's amazing.
And Emma Stone. It was hilarious, and for just being a zombie movie, they were pretty clever with what they did.
I never saw the second one still.
Oh, the second one's good.
I heard it is
good, but not as good as the first.
Of course,
one. Not as good as the first one. Did they need a second one? Like,
no, but
could I exist without it? Yeah,
of course. But at the same time, the second one would have been better if it was released 3 years later, not 10 years later.
I know.
So
yeah. So that's the gist of why it's at my number 5. Number 4. Never seen the first movie of this, but did see the second one and loved it. A Quiet Place Part 2.
Cool.
Now,
you've never seen the first one?
Never seen the first one. Saw the second one because people were seeing it. They asked me. I was like, yeah, why not? And I love the second one. Right after that second one, I was like, oh, now I need to watch the first one. Yeah. For some reason, I still haven't yet. That's typical me. But
typical us. Yeah. We're the worst movie podcast ever. Like, name your top 5 movies you haven't seen. Scarface, The Godfather, 1, 2, 3.
I have fulfilled that one, Scarface.
Scarface, you watched, you liked it.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. But no, A Quiet Place Part 2 was excellent. I am so proud of John Krasinski for putting on his big boy pants in a director's role and writing role, for that matter.
Also, he's great in Jack Ryan.
Oh, yeah, I heard. I think that last season is coming up or already happened.
So the newest season just came out. I've only watched like 2 episodes.
I think it's the last season.
It might be. He's great in it. He is great in it. The first 2 seasons are awesome. Like, really good TV if you like that spy thriller, CIA kind of,
Tom
whatever.
Clancy's Jack Reacher,
correct.
Right? Yeah.
Jack Ryan.
Oh, Jack Ryan.
But it might be.
No, I think you're right. Jack Ryan.
No,
could be.
Yeah. Because now I'm thinking of the Chris Pratt.
Oh, the show that you were raving about.
Fucking awesome, too. Yeah. Apparently a second season coming out, too, soon. So good. I'm very excited for that as well. But
what was the movie? Oh, yeah, Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah.
The concept of that is excellent.
Awesome, yeah.
They're not zombies. They're aliens.
Yep, correct.
Back to the alien concept. But the whole thing with them is that you can't talk. That's why it's called The Quiet Place. Have you seen the first or second one?
I've seen them. It's another very casual watch for me. Put it on, watch it.
I would put in the category of casual watch. Yep. But I'll tell you what, in the theaters, it's pretty immersive. When it gets quiet, you feel that tension and everything.
I could only imagine, yeah.
And it was excellent. A little spoiler alert. I mean, the dad, John Krasinski, he's kind of not in the second one. Okay. And Emily Blunt carried that shit and the kids,
which is funny.
Cillian Murphy did excellent in that movie. Did awesome.
Funny that the married couple is married in a movie.
Oh, I'm just I'm putting those together right now.
Yeah, they're married in real life.
No, that's not what I was just thinking of. Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy are married in Oppenheimer together.
Oh, wow. That's a love triangle.
That's what I thought you were referring to.
No.
But loved it. And now that I'm being remembered, I'm reminding myself I haven't seen that first movie. I think I got to go. I think it's on Paramount and watch it.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, that's my number 5 and 4: Zombieland and A Quiet Place Part 2.
Cool. My 3 and my 2 are Dawn of the Dead. Like the OG Dawn of the Dead. Love that movie.
I think that's like the original zombie movie, no?
No, the Dawn of the Dead I'm talking about, like the 2000s Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, like a remake?
Yeah, like I'm talking about the one where they were in the mall.
I didn't see it, I don't think.
The Ty Burrell from what's it called is Ty Burrell
Ty Burrell. That name sounds familiar, but
from Modern Family. The dad from Modern Family.
Okay, yeah.
He's in the movie. He's like the good bad.
Didn't see that.
It's a great solid zombie movie. Like it's 2000 zombie movie of
Well, it had to have made a big impact because Shaun of the Dead is the
I think
title
it's
alone
off of
is
exactly
the
correct.
Yeah.
But that's that, and then my number 2 is Zombieland. So again, Zombieland. More of the nostalgia fact of it, not as much of the, the reason that it's, like, obviously it doesn't hold up as much maybe as some of those other movies.
Sure.
But Zombieland was just,
movie,
we
though.
loved it. It's such a good movie.
Luke,
like,
I remember
would watch
you
it again.
being obsessed with that movie.
I was so
even
obsessed
before it came out.
I am still obsessed with that movie.
Yeah, before it
the
came
first
out.
one.
You loved making up your own rules and everything
100%.
after that movie came
100%.
out.
I still make up the
remember
rules
that.
to this day. I will tell, this is a funny story. So I went to a conference with my old work almost a year ago probably now. In February it'll be a year. I went to Canada and I was in Montreal. And we were in we were in Quebec, sorry.
Yeah.
So whatever. We're in Quebec or Montreal. I can't remember where we were. Quebec maybe. Regardless.
Yeah.
We're there. And it casually came up in conversation that I was like a Walking Dead fan.
Mm-hmm.
So then I casually said how I am like obsessed with always being like I always look around when I'm in a place I don't know to see what I would do if like I just saw zombies coming up the street. Like what would you do?
Right.
So then the joke that whole weekend became like I'm always planning for it.
Yeah.
So then we like one day we like looked up that there was an overlook of the entire city. So we ended up like me and a couple people like we did the whole walk to it. It was a really beautiful walk. It was like a nice beautiful day, February, shorts and a hoodie or shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's great.
We walked the whole thing. It was awesome. We get to the top. And, like, the whole time, they're like, so what would you have done? I'm like, well, I would have barricaded all this off with a fence. I would have made sure that we had people on post at all times. Because zombies can't probably get upstairs the way we can. So if we keep the stairs the same with limited barricades. And, like, I did all this, and they were like, oh, fuck, you were serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I am serious.
Yeah.
And then it's always funny because I always talk about it with Kayla, and then Kayla's like, yeah, just kill me. Just throw me to him. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, at least I know, like, you're a real one. If I ever needed to, I could pull, like, a chain from Walking Dead and right in the leg. All right, bye, see ya. No. But yeah, that's why, I've always been obsessed with that stuff. Not that I like zombie stuff as much. I just think I like the, like, survival aspect of stuff.
Sure.
Like, I think I like the fact of, like, all right, cool. What would you do if that was, like, the free reign of, like, the world turning to that? And, like, how would you survive? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Gotcha. I think I'm up, right? For number
yes, correct. 3 and 2.
So my number 3 is I Am Legend. I think the most powerful scene of that movie, there's 2 of them. One is the dog scene. As much as I hate it, it's probably the most powerful scene of the movie because that was his one and only friend in that lonely world.
Easily.
And then the ending. There's actually an alternate ending to that movie.
Yeah, I did know that. Yep.
I think where he survives. Mm-hmm. Will Smith survives. And the original ending is where he takes the clip off the grenade and charges into the main. They're vampires. Vampire zombies, which is a cool twist to it also.
Yes, correct.
Like they're not allowed out in the sun, which is a cool concept alone. Yep. And it's only at night. How he had his house barricaded up. Excellent. And every little thing, it's gonna be alright. Like that was like the theme song of the movie.
No, it's awesome. Yeah,
loved that movie. They are apparently making a second one.
I did see that with his son, right?
Yeah, who's apparently being played by Michael B. Jordan.
I'd love that.
I'm not a fan of them. They're making a second one.
Why not? They're running out of ideas. Might as well.
Yeah, and we'll see if it even happens. Will Smith has been on like thin ice, like in a sense. Like the ice is kind of growing, freezing back, but whatever. My number 2 is The Last of Us, man. And this was the character Joel that I think might be up to par with Rick Grimes, to be honest with you.
I'll be the judge of that. When I watch it, I will be the judge of that.
Well, think of it this way. It's my number 2 on this list, and there's only been 1 season of it.
That's
that good.
I know. I am. It's gonna be great. I know. I am a Pedro Pascal fan. Believe me, this is a Pedro Pascal. This is a Pedro Pascal positivity posted promotional podcast.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
That's the title of the episode.
There you go. No, the acting's incredible in it.
Yeah.
And the makeup effects. Nothing was, not all of it was CGI. You know, it was excellent. The clickers looked amazing, which are the name of like the zombies. And maybe I won't say this if you're gonna watch it. It's kind of how the outbreak started, unless you don't mind.
Yeast.
Yeah, right.
In the bread.
Well, no.
It's not in the bread? I thought it was in yeast.
It is a mold. It's
a mold that's found
in
yeast
fungi.
or whatever, and doesn't it spread?
It's a fungi because of the temperature rising. It's able to...
Like a climate change thing.
Yeah,
it's able to adapt.
right.
Yeah.
But they're very subtle with that and everything like that.
Yeah.
Not that I would have minded if they really went deep into that.
I mean, bro,
it's so good, dude. I am shocked that when that first came out, you didn't watch it. And I'm not one who played the games either. I actually just recently tried out the original
honestly,
game.
I wanted to watch it, and I think I got caught up in that show was coming out, and it went a couple episodes in, or it went 2 episodes in, and I was leaving my job.
Oh, so you were
and I was so out the door of like ready to like take the next step with stuff.
Yeah,
that like. I wasn't doing anything. And believe me when I say, like, that was the show that after, I think, 2 episodes in, I was like, I'm going to wait until this comes out fully and just watch the whole thing. And my game plan was, I was going to watch it before I started my new gig. And then I was like, oh, shit, no, I'm not. At all. And, like, it's tough because Kayla would watch that with me. But she's funny because, like, she'll not want to watch something with me, and then when I tell her I've watched every season of blank, she's like, wait, you watched that without me? And I'm like...
And then she's going to want to watch it?
Yeah. But she's also just, like, you know, the typical memes of, like, oh, are you watching? And she's like, yeah. Like, and you're like, okay, cool. So, like...
I'll be honest with you, I think she would love it, too.
No, I think she will, too. Like, I mean, she loves her drama, like, her bullshit TV. Like, she really does, and I enjoy, like, just putting it on in the background and just pretending it's not there.
Yeah.
But, like, I do enjoy some of that stuff. But she watches, like, she's pretty good with that stuff. I mean, like, again, she's a trooper. She came to Endgame with me. She saw, like... Black Panther with me, Ant-Man with me. Like, she's watched a lot of that stuff, and she wasn't a movie person prior to me.
Right.
But she also, you know, I tell her all the time, I'm like, I'm also a movie guy that I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, I've always been if I want to go see a movie by myself, and, like, I've always made the joke to her, because she's like, I don't know how you used to do it, because, like, I've been to concerts by myself, I've been to movies by myself. Like, I personally think and we have this debate all the time, and I'd like to know, and we won't do a poll of the pod, but maybe we will, what's weirder, eating alone in a public place or watching a movie alone?
Okay.
And I think it's eating alone in a public place.
Me too.
Because a movie, I make this argument to her all the time. I'm like, why the fuck am I going to look over and be like, did you see that?
Right.
I'm not.
You're not.
I am locked
You're
in.
not. Exactly.
I'm locked in. If I'm eating alone in a public place, how'd you like your salad? There's nobody there.
Going out to eat, conversation is a part of the whole experience.
Yeah, and listen, like, then people make the whole, like, oh, food court on your break. Bro, go in your car and eat, or go in your back room when you worked at the mall and eat there. Like, I'd get my food in the food court when I worked at Champs, and I went right to the back room. There was a break area. I sat right there.
But listen, though, I don't think it's a bad thing
No.
I think it's actually a good thing,
I agree.
to be comfortable with just being by yourself in a public setting.
I 1,000% agree.
You know?
My argument is more the same as, like, the Harry Potter Star Wars people. We can live in unity.
Yeah.
But it's that when that stone gets thrown, that the war starts.
Okay.
So, like, I don't have any beef. I don't think, like, it's the meme of, like, I feel bad for you. I don't think about you. That's me with, like, Harry Potter fans. Don't think about you guys at all. You're irrelevant.
Yeah,
your movies,
I'm
your
the
movies,
same page with that.
I enjoy
sure
Harry
they're
Potter. I've watched them. I've enjoyed them. They don't touch the original trilogy of Star Wars. Like, you cannot touch us. So don't worry about it.
And that's not even me being a fan.
No,
really,
don't worry about
either.
us. Don't worry about us.
I know Star Wars.
But it's the same thing. Like,
okay.
I've had to eat by myself on the food court, like, at a lunch break where I'm like, I'm not going back to my store. It's a mob scene. I'm going to eat out here. I don't care. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, people will be like, you go to the movies by yourself? And I'm like, you eat in a public place by yourself? Like, because that's weirder, in my opinion, than just, like, I will go to a movie or a concert because I'm just there. Like, I'm there to enjoy the experience of what I'm there for.
Right.
Not to be like, did you hear that beat drop?
Right,
like, you know, I'm just there to enjoy it. So
I think eating alone in a restaurant or whatever is very uncomfortable. But the people that could do it and do it, like a treat yourself moment.
100%. No,
Much respect to you for it. I think that was my number 2 I put up. I think you go on to your number 1. I feel like you are going to be so mad because I have
your number 1?
Mad in a good way, like that you didn't think of it, unless you do have it as your number 1.
No, you know my number 1.
It is The Walking Dead.
It is Morbius. The Tom.
Oh my god.
Or no, what's his name?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto led Morbius movie, where Morbius says it's Morbin time and turns into a vampire.
That's right.
That's my number 1.
Okay. Dude,
no, my number 1 is The Walking Dead. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really, if you followed this podcast at all, if you've even watched a fucking clip of us over the years, you've probably known I'm a Walking Dead fan. The extended universe, I think it's funny now that they've done a better job of the extended universe because, you know, they were building up to get to more movies and shows. Yeah. And then they made Fear the Walking Dead.
Right.
And the first season of Fear was really good.
Which I did watch.
Fear, it was that same suspenseful, oh my god, the apocalypse is happening.
And it's coming and then, oh god, it's happening now.
Listen, the first season of Walking Dead, you go from Rick Grimes living his life, wakes up out of a coma, and the zombie apocalypse happens.
Right. Right.
There's a lot that's missing there.
Yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead, though, you're watching it all happen. And, like, the real life aspect of this kid's a druggie, and he's in this place and, like, ends up almost, like, you know, like, shooting up, but then ends up almost dying. Oh, my God, there's a zombie in there. And people being like,
and he thought he was tripping.
But that first season of Fear is really fucking good.
It is good.
It is really good TV. It's really a good horror slasher, not a slasher. It's like a good horror suspenseful show.
It is.
Where that show really got me back in on Walking Dead, where I was like, oh shit, if Walking Dead like takes it this way again, I could really get into like some of the other stuff they'll put out.
Sure.
Now, I have not watched Dixon yet, but I've heard it's awesome. I've heard from a lot of people that the Daryl show is really good.
Yeah, I heard it's very good too.
Look, the redemption arc that Walking Dead went on, it's a bummer to me because the way they went out was kind of like we just have to we just got to kind of like put it out to pasture.
That's kind of how you know, man. They never had a plan, dude.
No, they did. They had a plan. The problem is that during that time, some of those episodes and some of those things didn't work out. So the comic's similar to the movie where they were doing the same thing.
No, they were not. The comic.
No.
They strayed away from the comic a long time ago.
But they had to build up. They had to build up hype in between it. Is what I'm saying. Like they couldn't because they would have been 5 seasons in and been done. True. So they had to draw some of these episodes. Maybe that would have been better off though. It might have been, but I still think there was good meat on the bone. Like the whole steak wasn't good, but there was a couple good parts of it. Okay. You know. So look, I again, there's some of like the Negan scene that actually is the reason that a lot of people say that The Walking Dead died. Funny enough.
When Glenn
and Abraham died.
Right.
So a lot of people stopped watching it. I watched a YouTube video on it a couple weeks ago of like why The Walking Dead died.
Yeah.
Their viewership went from like 14 million prior to that episode, like on a constant basis of like big episodes were always that big spike.
Yeah.
After that episode, the like highest they ever had after was like 4 million.
Wow, really?
So a lot of people say him dying in the way that he did was what turned people off to that show. Which I get it, but at the same time, like we wanted that. We wanted to know. And they did an amazing job of I fucking sat in my college house with all my buddies, and we spent a whole year being like, shit, who died? Who was right.
That was an amazing cliffhanger.
Amazing cliffhanger.
For only to wait like a year or two for the next season to come out to find out. Incredible.
Amazing.
That's like an Infinity War Endgame situation.
It really was. And like again, I think the thing with The Walking Dead is that there is enough there that I mean, look, I'll be the first one to tell you some of that. I'm like, damn. Todd and my college roommates used to like I gave up on it in that time, like college. I like was like, dude, I'm done. I was like, I can't. I'm burnt out. I was like, this is just a lot. The story was being repetitive for me. I was like, I can't allocate the time to do this.
Right.
Then I ended up just being like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get back into it. Watched Fear, watched that, got into it, and all of those people, Todd, my college roommates, they all got off of it. And then I kept watching again. I was like, all right, shit. Like, you guys should watch this again. It did do a good job of getting back into a decent place.
Yeah.
The Whispers was good. Negan got back into it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it got to a good place again. So I was I was the one that left and then brought myself back on and still then tried to get more people to jump back on it. So if that's not a testimonial to like, yo, look, sometimes shows
that it got
suck.
good.
Yeah.
That it got good again.
So, look.
I'll take your word for it. It's just so much now.
No.
There's so much of it now.
If I was someone that is just has watched all the shows they have and it's like whatever, and you want something that's going to take up a ton of time, watch this. Like, dive into it. But they're hour-long, 45-minute long episodes. So
which I'll always appreciate.
100%.
And their seasons are
long.
Quantity, they're long.
Fucking 12 to 15 episodes,
yeah,
which is great. That's
great.
good content.
Yes.
I do wish, though, looking back, if you give me... It was 11 seasons or 12 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
If you give me those, and if they were 18 each or 15 each or 16 each, if you gave me like 10 to 12 each one, I guarantee it would have been one of the best shows we ever talked about.
I think it would have been an advantage.
I really do. Because there's even bad episodes in there that are underappreciated and are solid episodes. You know, so... but that's my number one. I'll always stand for it. I'll always love some of what they did with it. And hopefully they continue to write some more stuff on it. I would eventually love the Rick and Michonne thing to figure itself out.
I'm gonna watch.
Agreed.
That I'm watching.
I would like for it to figure itself out, get to a point that it's at, and then either Rick or Michonne die or they don't die or whatever, but I would love to see eventually an old version of Rick's kids, like Rick's daughter, or technically Shane's daughter. Cause
is it Shane's daughter?
So yeah.
Oh yes, it
Shane
is. It
banged
is. Yes,
Rick's
that's right.
wife and she was pregnant. But Rick's daughter, because
Judith, is that her name?
Correct. Yeah. So I would love a Judith show where she's Haley Steinfeld.
Cool, but I'll be completely honest. I would have no interest.
I'm a Walking Dead fan. So like me, I would if I'm saying if you can tell a cohesive story of her surviving it and then like what happens, and then like let's just say the virus is starting to settle down. 10 years, 15, 20 years later, 30 years later, whatever, whoever the actress is, it's starting to kind of pop up again. And a lot of people are in that weird spot of like, well, the zombies, we haven't seen them in years, and now they're starting to pop up in more like frequent like groupings and stuff. We thought we got rid of all of them, or we thought they all got evaporated. Why are they coming up again? And you find out there's a new strain, or something like that. I would be interested in almost a murder mystery, like a mystery show, like a cop show of like, why are the zombies coming back now when we wiped them all out?
Like a detective sort of thing. That would be cool. So, all right, I could agree with that.
There's the cool thing with zombies is you can fuck around with it, dude.
Yeah, you could.
Because now look at what they're doing with it now. I mean, they fucking waited 10 seasons to put out a running zombie in The Walking Dead.
I know.
And then it's like, oh shit, well that's kind of interesting.
It is.
She did it in season 5.
Yeah.
But actually, in season 1 or 2, when they get locked inside the dome,
they were jogging.
Or
climbing.
No. Well, they were like climbing.
No, I know what it was. I'm sorry to keep guessing.
Go.
He opened the door. The zombie opened the door.
Oh yes. Yeah. That was towards the end of this season, though. It was season.
Okay.
I think that was season 10 or 11. They started becoming able to unlock doors and stuff like that.
You see that too, man.
So, but that's cool. That's cool.
That is cool.
But there was this is like lore.
Okay.
In season 1, when they go inside a dome, that there was a scientist that survived.
I remember that.
He almost locks him inside and then basically blows the whole place up.
Yes.
There was something on there that said they were trying to fix it, but France was trying to do something with it, and that apparently their experiments like weren't working. So I think what happened is they became more advanced zombies there, but then there was no connection with the mainlands of like, again, fucking Europe and the United States.
Right.
That once that guy died, no one has phones, no one has shit, so no one has any kind of clue.
Interesting.
So the cool thing is I think there's still a lot that can be done with The Walking Dead, surprisingly enough, which is interesting to see if it got into the right hands, what could be done with it. That would be the interesting thing for me.
Okay. My number 1. It is a combination of 3 movies.
Okay.
It's a trilogy, in fact, of movies. And it's talked about on this pod quite frequently. Also known as the most underrated trilogy of all time, the Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Hey, good for you. Good for you.
Well, I'm sorry, my hands are a little sweaty, but
yes. Disgusting. Good for you. Damn it. That's good.
Now, listen.
That's why you're a good podcast
host. Is the only one post-apocalyptic scenario where you're actually rooting for the things that took over the world. You know what I'm saying? The zombies you're not necessarily rooting for. The aliens you're not rooting for. Mm-hmm. Caesar and his clan, you're rooting for. You want those humans to die.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself, like you said. You're so right.
That's why I texted you. That's why I texted you saying it doesn't have to be zombies.
You texted me that, and I looked at him like, is he telling me something right now?
Yeah, I kind of was.
Oh, that's so good, though. Good for you. Yeah, that's my number one.
It is.
If I rechange my list right now, Walking Dead would be 1, and that would probably be 2. I'd probably bump Zombieland to 3, World War Z and whatever out. No, I would move Dawn of the Dead out.
Like knock it off the list.
Oh, off the list.
Yeah.
So mine would be Walking Dead, Planet of the. Fuck. Nope.
Yeah,
just you go. I can't.
All right. So listen, the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the new one, that obviously there were the older movies too, which are cult classics. A lot of people love those as well. That's why they even decided to remake them in the first place. They totally evolutionized that story, especially really the new trilogy is a prequel to the original Planet of the Apes. Like it was their own story. Caesar wasn't the main character in the beginning movies. And Caesar's the best fucking one out of all of them. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with, I believe it's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's supposed to continue this franchise. It's owned by Disney. Not that it's any concern in that nature, but I just don't want them to fuck up a perfectly good trilogy. Amazing trilogy for that matter.
Doesn't matter. This, in theory, will either be like 1, 2, and 3 or 7, 8, and 9 for Star Wars.
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6 are the great...
Yes.
Listen... If you haven't seen these movies, just go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
We rave about it all the time.
Yes.
It is up there. Like, I would put it up against 1, 2, and 3 in Star Wars, and it would have a very good chance at beating it. It's wipes the floor with 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Doesn't beat Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter doesn't even stand a chance on any of those. Like,
but we always say about Planet of the Apes, so it is one of the most... I still think it is.
It's
underrated,
one of the best stories. It's such a good story.
Amazing.
It is great cinematography, great acting, great performances,
great motion
great
capture.
Writing. The mocap is amazing.
Yeah.
The plot of the movie is so well thought out that the ending of the first movie and how the virus spread is just like how we I don't want to compare it to COVID, but it was the best way for people to understand how this shit works.
Yeah.
And that was why for me, some of it is an element of I like when movies are just it is what it is. The virus came.
Yeah.
That did such a good job of that pilot that got sick, and then
that
boom.
Story.
And then the ending, it's all the map.
Do you remember at the end of the first movie, it was the pain in the ass neighbor of James Franco that started coughing and bleeding at the airport.
But he was the pilot.
Oh, was he the pilot?
He was the pilot.
Oh, okay, he was the pilot.
He was the annoying neighbor, and he was the pilot, and he was the one that did it.
And that's when you knew where the second movie was going to be led to,
But that's the crazy thing about it. That was one of the craziest, I don't want to say it's a plot twist, but it kind of was, this annoying neighbor, the whole movie, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
This is the guy that started the virus and wiped the human race. Well, it's not him, obviously, but it's him at the same time.
It kind of was, right.
Crazy.
And also to bring it back to the original Planet of the Apes, the first Planet of the Apes movie, the original, that did have a huge plot twist.
100%.
The astronaut came to this unknown planet where apes took over, or was always there apparently.
Yep.
Only for him at the end of the movie
to find
the Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
A destroyed Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Amazing.
Great movie.
Amazing.
The original trilogy is also great.
It is great. It is great. They did continue after that, and those were whatever.
I mean, there's also a freaking Mark Wahlberg one, which I would recommend against.
There was. Yeah, right. I heard that one wasn't too good. I didn't see that one. I didn't bother with that one. But yeah, that's my number one. I've been dying to say this whole episode for that.
Good for you.
So yeah, I think I got you there. Yeah,
you did. No, that's good. That's good. Damn. No, it's really good. Now that you said it, and I'm so mad looking at myself. I'm like, why is this kid fucking texting me this again? I was like, in my head, I'm like, am I missing something? And I knew you were going to say something good. I was honestly thinking you were going to do a Spider-Man or a Batman 2090, something out there in that universe of what post-apocalyptic am I thinking about? I'm like,
You know what I was even thinking of to add as an honorable mention, but I was like, it doesn't even deserve an honorable mention. But at the same time, it wasn't bad. The What If episode of the zombie apocalypse.
It kind of does. I mean, you could, it's on there.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah, cool
it was
concept.
a cool concept with superheroes.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. But all right, guys, that was our top 5 list for post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows. I hope you enjoyed our list. If you guys have any other movies in mind, let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And follow us on all social media platforms at Frank_videos. And listen, if you want to listen to this podcast audio-only version, you can on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Luke, thanks for joining the pod. Of
course,
per usual. I think the next time I'm seeing you is at your wedding.
Yes, probably.
Which is coming up very shortly. So, big things are coming.
Hype season.
Big things are coming.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, great to see you as always. We're going to be doing more top 5 episodes in the near future. We've strayed away from them over the past couple of months, for that matter.
Yeah.
But we're going to get back into them. As far as other cool ideas like food brackets maybe and everything like that. So who knows? All right, guys, that'll do it for us. Have a wonderful night. And peace out.
Here I went to Howell High School.
Nice.
And that's where I wrestled, played football, the whole 9 yards.
Hell yeah.
Got into MMA a little bit later in life. But I started off, once I graduated, I started into boxing heavily.
Okay.
And then went down a little bit of a dark path, which I'll get into later on in the podcast.
Sure.
And then I found MMA, which kind of brought me back to myself.
Love that.
So, yeah, now we're here.
Awesome.
Making our pro debut in about 4 weeks.
Incredible.
So I'm super excited about that.
When did you first realize that MMA was a passion of yours?
Oh, I was young.
Were you young?
Yeah, I was very young. Very young. Yeah, I
Was
think
it
even before high school. I remember UFC 1, 2, 3, like we would always watch those.
Wow.
Like, heavily into it. And we were just always super passionate about fighting.
Yeah.
Like we would always even call out guys from our school like, hey, let's meet up behind Angelo's and let's fight. No bad blood.
Right.
We just loved the sport, so
Just
we
for the
always
sport of
wanted
it.
to do it. Yeah.